came onto my set, my office. What's up? What are you doing? Huh? Alright. I guess you can come in here. Hello everyone, and it's time for another Into the Void Real Review. This time we're reviewing Fly Me to the Moon. This movie is directed by Greg Berlanti and stars two seismic actors, Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum. This is a romantic comedy set against a backdrop of NASA, back when they were prepping for the momentous moon landing of 1969. Spoiler alert, if you want to go into this movie completely blind, you have been warned. Channing Tatum plays launch director Cole Davis, who has the difficult task of getting Apollo 11 to the moon. He doesn't have to just try to get the crew of Apollo 11 up there safely, but also get public opinion back on the side of wanting to fund the mission amid the Vietnam War and the civil rights movement that was happening at the time. Enter in Scarlett Johansson's character, Kelly Jones, who is hired by the government to help this happen. She needs to make astronauts cool again. She needs to make space an endeavor worth taking. Early on, she promotes the idea of watches and Tang ads to bolster enthusiasm for NASA's renaissance. This just causes friction with Channing's Cole Davis because he feels Scarlett's Kelly Jones is undercutting the integrity of the Apollo 11 mission. The friction's so thick that he even tries to get her fired, but epically fails when Mo Burkus, played so deviously by Woody Harrelson, denies him with the fact that Kelly's actually doing such a good job getting public opinion back on board with the space program.
You are the very best.
Later, you get to know why Kelly is so good in swaying opinion because you come to learn many things about her past, which makes her the prime candidate in manipulation and using lies to make things happen. Devious Mo Burkus knows all about Kelly's past and uses this knowledge to do some manipulation of his own to get her to stage a fake moon landing that will be broadcast over the actual one. He wants to ensure that America averts the Cold War shenanigans of the time. He's doing it all so America can win the space race, after all. Patriotism and all that. 'Cause now you have to answer to America. Fuck yeah! That is the basic setup for this movie. It does spurn the conspiracy theory that some people like to contemplate. And of course, that theory is whether the moon landing was actually real or just some staged thing that happened on some backwoods Hollywood set. I did like the setup of the movie, and there's a lot to like here. With a stacked cast of great actors, I forgot to mention Ray Romano is in this as well.
Who is that?
For me, this is very personal.
He's got my name.
He plays Henry Smalls, one of the lead engineers or directors. I forget what his actual title is in this, but he's one of those for the Apollo 11 mission. Anyway, he does his usual great work here. The rest of the cast is great, premise is interesting, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. Scarlett Johansson is a highlight here. She knows how to play the time period.
Hey, Joe. Eating cold? Miss, you're on fire.
Very original. No, I do not want to stop, drop, and roll with you.
No, your book is on fire.
She's got the acting chops for the 1950s, 1960s vibe era down pat. I remember her in Asteroid City, and she was a highlight in that film as well. It was basically set around that time period, so that's why I bring up that movie. She's better in that movie, but still great here. She has the brains and beauty to coerce engineers and politicians alike to get them to do her bidding. And you find out, like I said earlier, why she's so good at it later in the film, but in the end, you can't help but admire that she knows how to get the job done. So yeah, she is a definite highlight here. Channing Tatum is great here as well, but to a lesser degree, but not in a bad way. Johansson just shines so much more in her role here.
What?
The chemistry between the two is on point, which is what you need from a romantic comedy. It's never cheesy or unearned, and I like that in the beginning there was a little bit of competitiveness between the two that causes a lot of butting of heads and ideas when they're planning out for a successful moon landing. That makes the chemistry all the more real in my opinion for sure. The comedy, however, is not the big selling point of this movie. The beginning scene in particular is very lackluster in comedic timing and impact, and I was a little worried that that would hurt the rest of the film, but honestly, it really didn't. It's telling, though, that a black cat earned more laughs for me than anything else in this movie. In fact, there's a running joke throughout the film dealing with this black cat that shows up at key moments, either ruin or save the day. You'll see what I mean when you watch the movie. So yeah, Black Cat earns Best Comedic Award for this movie, and I'm all about it. So So what else is there to say about this movie that I haven't said? Music's reminiscent of the 50s, 60s time period. If you like that music, which I do, you'll like that as well. Frank Sinatra, anyone? Sign me up. The look of the film is vibrant and is reminiscent of the Nixon era, done to good effect. And there's a teaser at the end that I won't elaborate on where Kelly asks Mo about another particular conspiracy that is on par or even under par, as in better than the fake lunar landing. And I will only say that that particular conspiracy holds more weight than the one in this film. But I won't get into that. But honestly, you could see a sequel in the works here because of that other conspiracy. Guys, I give this film an 8 out of 10. But what did you think of it? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're feeling frisky, do you think the lunar landing was faked? Let me know in the comments below as well on that. And if you're feeling even friskier, be sure to like the video and subscribe as well. See you in the next one. See ya.